In a quiet little town, far from the noise of the world, lived a man named Daniel Cross. He wasn't rich. He wasn't famous. He was just a mechanic, the kind of man who fixed broken things because he understood what it felt like to be broken himself. His wife had passed away 3 years ago. His son barely called anymore. Daniel spent his nights alone in his garage, fixing old engines that nobody wanted, just to feel useful, just to feel like he still mattered. He never imagined that one ordinary night, everything would change. It was almost midnight when Daniel heard a deafening crash from the field behind his house. The ground shook. Dogs barked across the neighborhood. Windows rattled. He grabbed his flashlight, stepped outside, and froze. A trail of scorched earth stretched across his backyard, leading to a smoking crater. And lying inside it was something Daniel had never seen before. A machine. Humanoid in shape, but nothing like anything built on Earth. Its metal body was cracked and blackened, wires exposed, one arm bent at an unnatural angle. Strange blue symbols pulsed faintly across its chest, like a heartbeat refusing to die. Daniel should have called the police. He should have run. Instead, he knelt beside it. "Hey!" he whispered. "Can you hear me?" The robot's single working eye flickered open. A soft, dim blue light, barely holding on. It looked at him, not with fear, not with hostility, with something closer to exhaustion, like it had been fighting for a very long time and simply had nothing left. Daniel didn't understand alien technology. He didn't understand any of this. But he understood one thing clearly. This thing was dying, and he wasn't going to let that happen. He dragged the robot, heavier than anything he'd ever moved, into his garage. He worked through the night using tools never meant for anything like this. He spliced wires with electrical tape. He welded cracked plating with an old torch. He talked to it the whole time the way he used to talk to broken cars. "Come on," he muttered. "Don't give up on me now." By sunrise, the blue light in its chest was glowing steady. It was alive. Whatever alive meant for a machine like this. Over the next few days, Daniel didn't tell anyone. Not his neighbors. Not his son. He simply took care of it the way you'd nurse an injured animal back to health. He didn't know its name. He didn't know where it came from. He just called it Buddy, because it felt wrong to leave something nameless. Slowly, Buddy began to change. Small lights along its arms began to reactivate. Its voice, a strange, layered hum, started to form. One evening, as Daniel welded a new joint into its shoulder, Buddy spoke for the first time. "Why," it said, voice rough and mechanical, "are you helping me?" Daniel paused, wiping sweat from his forehead. "Because you needed it," he said simply. "That's usually reason enough." Buddy stared at him for a long moment. Something in its optical sensors flickered, an expression Daniel couldn't quite name. Gratitude, maybe, or disbelief. "On my world," Buddy said quietly. "No one helps without asking what they will gain." "Well," Daniel smiled, "you're not on your world anymore." He had no idea how true and how important those words would soon become. Weeks passed. Buddy grew stronger every day. Daniel taught it how to move naturally, how to blend into the human world when needed, how to sit on the porch and watch the sunset without saying a word. In return, Buddy taught Daniel things about the universe he never imagined. That Earth was not alone, that far beyond the stars, entire civilizations rose and fell in silence, unnoticed by human eyes. But there was something Buddy never told him, something it kept buried deep in its damaged memory core. One night, as they sat together under the stars, Buddy finally spoke. "Daniel," it said, "I need to tell you the truth about what I am." Daniel turned to face it. "I was not just a machine," Buddy continued. "I was created to carry something sacred, the last living code of my people, the Virellan Empire. Our home world was destroyed in a war we could not win. Before the end, our leaders placed the last surviving essence of our civilization, our history, our knowledge, our people's very souls inside my core. I was meant to find a new world, a safe world. But my ship was attacked before I could complete the journey. I crashed here, broken beyond repair. Daniel's breath caught in his throat. So all this time you weren't just injured. You were carrying an entire civilization, Buddy said. Millions of lives, waiting for a chance to live again. And you saved me without knowing any of it. Daniel sat in stunned silence, staring at the machine he had fixed with duct tape and stubbornness. The machine that held the fate of an entire species inside its chest. I don't regret it, Daniel finally said. Not for a second. The peace didn't last long. 3 nights later, the sky lit up with unnatural light. Massive shapes descended from the clouds, sleek, dark ships unlike anything human eyes had ever witnessed. The ground trembled as they landed in the very same field where Buddy had crashed weeks before. Daniel ran outside, heart pounding, to find Buddy already standing there, facing the ships, its body glowing with sudden, powerful energy, as if some hidden strength had finally awakened. They found me, Buddy said grimly. The ones who destroyed my world. Armored figures emerged from the ships. Cold, mechanical warriors sent to erase the last trace of the Virellan Empire forever. Buddy, get behind me, Daniel shouted, grabbing a metal pipe like it would somehow help. But Buddy turned to him instead, its glowing eyes filled with something like affection. No, Daniel, not this time. You protected me when I was powerless. Now, let me protect you. Energy surged through Buddy's damaged frame, the same blue symbols on its chest blazing brighter than ever. It stepped forward, and the very same life-saving repairs Daniel had made, crude, human, imperfect, somehow held strong as a shield of pure light burst outward, pushing the attacking warriors back. The battle was fierce. Explosions lit up the night sky. Daniel could only watch, frozen between terror and awe, as the broken robot he had rescued fought like a guardian, refusing to fall. And then, just when hope seemed lost, the very ground began to glow. From the crater where Buddy had first crashed, ancient energy erupted upward, the last defense system embedded deep within, finally activating. The enemy ships were forced to retreat. Silence fell over the battlefield. Smoke drifted through the night air. Daniel ran to Buddy, who had collapsed to one knee, sparks flickering from its chest. Buddy, are you? I am stable, Buddy said softly. Thanks to you. Daniel helped it to its feet, and for the first time, Buddy looked at him not just as its savior, but as something more. A friend. Family. The Virellan Empire is gone, Buddy said. But its people are not. They live within me, and because of you, they still have a chance. Daniel smiled, exhausted but overwhelmed with something he hadn't felt in years. Purpose. Then let's give them that chance, he said. Together. Months later, life in the small town looked almost normal. Almost. Daniel still fixed cars in his garage. But now, standing beside him, helping with tools far too heavy for human hands, was Buddy. Fully restored, fully alive, no longer just a broken machine, but a guardian of a civilization reborn. Sometimes, late at night, Daniel would look up at the stars and wonder how many other worlds were out there. How many other stories waited to be saved. But one thing he knew for certain. Sometimes the smallest act of kindness, fixing something broken, without asking for anything in return, could change the fate of an entire universe. And somewhere, deep within Buddy's core, a dying empire slept peacefully, waiting for the day it would rise again.